Well, a New York movie that is more charm than off-putting,
Right?
I would say.
Another movie involving the New York City subway system.
Yes, is On the Town.
On the Town.
New York, New York.
A nice musical.
It's a wonderful town. The Bronx is up and the battery's down.
And hey, guess what? We're recording this in New York.
Yes, it was an immersive 4D experience. I'm always looking for 4D experiences, whether it be Twisters or watching a New York City movie in New York City. Yes, On the Town.
Yeah.
A Gene Kelly musical, Technicolor musical.
Yeah, co-directed by Gene Kelly and co-starring.
Yes. And it's about some sailors who have one day to spend.
They got 24 hours in New York City, and they're gonna see as much of that city as they can.
They're gonna see an unrealistically large amount of that city in 24 hours.
And also, they're gonna find some dames to hang out with.
It's based on a Broadway show.
Yeah. Music by Leonard Bernstein. Heard of him?
Choreography in the movie, at least, by Gene Kelly. Heard of him? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I had a lot of fun with this movie.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I think this movie is very dumb.
Yeah,
And I don't mean that entirely in a disparaging way. It's just that's the kind of movie that this is.
It's simple.
Well, it's very silly. It's like
Yeah.
really, really just like there are no rules. Everything is a joke. I think the only other Gene Kelly comedy I've seen is Singing in the Rain, which I think they're definitely kind of like flashes of that movie's like goodness.
Yeah.
In this one, there's a lot of similarities between the two, but I think this movie's much sillier and much more comedic and a lot dumber. But I also think that kind of it lends it this kind of just like very, I don't know, just kind of like casual fun vibe.
Yeah.
That is goes down very easy.
It's a nice movie it feels like a nice movie to just throw on and have a good time.
Yeah.
You know? I was sitting.
It is such a like, New York, what a city movie that is like, it's hard to dislike for that aspect.
I was like, I was watching this.
Unless you hate New York City, in which case you will hate this movie.
I was watching this movie just kind of feeling like maybe I'm just a real sucker for just Technicolor, just joyful musicals, you know?
I mean, they're fun.
I can see, I don't know why a certain type of person gets like really glommed onto this type of thing, you know? Because there's something infectious about it, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly is an incredibly infectious person. I think the thing I always tell people is it's like...
Gene Kelly, infectious.
If you... circa 1916 or whatever. The thing I always tell people who say that they don't like musicals is watch Singing in the Rain, and then tell me that you don't like musicals, because it is impossible not to like that movie. It is literally impossible. And yeah, so you get some of that here. His smile and his charisma and dancing goes a long way.
I think this movie, I mean, comparing it to Singing in the Rain, which is probably unfair to do. It's later in his career. It's whatever.
It's not that much later.
I know, a couple years. But like that's, the closest other movie that I've seen to this one, so it makes for an easy comparison. I think this movie feels a lot more kind of like scattershot than that one does. I think this movie is a lot less successful in what it's trying to do than that one is.
Singing in the Rain is like a story with stuff going on.
Right.
And this is just like...
The plot of this movie is quite literally a bunch of stuff happens. Like, 3 sailors show up in New York City and hijinks ensue. But like, I think of the way that like, I feel like each big musical number in Singing in the Rain feels so like integral, and like it's not necessarily like plotty, but it is. I'm like, you can't take any of those out and like the movie wouldn't still work, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I feel like there were definitely at least a few musical numbers where I was like, this one's going on a little long, or like this one feels a little
They start for random reasons, right? Like
it's not that, because that's like just a musical thing where it's
Right.
like, I don't need a reason why you're gonna break out into song. I know that's what's gonna happen.
I think with this one, I mean, I was really on board.
But
for this
it will
movie.
take
And I think,
it will take like long musical interludes.
yeah. But like a musical number would start, and I'd just be like, "Sweet," and I just kind of kick back and
Most of the
enjoy
time,
it. You know,
true. Yeah, but I think like the musical numbers aren't quite as elaborate or quite as like just dazzling
Yes.
as Singing in the Rain, and so
it is hard to compare to a perfect movie.
I think it's right. It's comparing to that is an uphill battle, because it is like Singing in the Rain is very much iterating on this and like making it better.
yeah.
So then once you've already seen like the best possible version of this, to then go back to like an earlier kind of version of it, it does feel a little bit clunkier.
It's a little clunky, but yeah.
I mean, I know what I want to say about this movie, and that is I am obsessed with the concept of Miss Turnstiles.
Yes, the kind of like the main
The
kind of
inciting
plot
incident
thing
of
that
the
happens
movie
is these kind of like, I don't know, credulous bumpkins who are walking into New York City for the first time and not really experienced
the big city.
Yeah, said with a New York accent of
Well,
like,
I mean, Frank Sinatra, who's also in this movie, is from New Jersey, so I guess he has a New Jersey accent.
I'm talking about the other guy, the one that's not Gene Kelly or Frank Sinatra.
I don't know.
He had
his
like
name.
he had like I feel like he had kind of a New York accent.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, can you believe it?
Yeah.
This place, New York.
Yeah, right. It's like, where are you from? That you have never been here.
And yeah, so they're in a subway, and they're loving being in a subway. This is their Emily in Paris moment.
I
as
do
people say.
kind of love how this movie is partially shot on location in New York City in late 1940s. I don't know if it was shot in 48 or 49, and it is kind of, I find it charming how little has changed in certain respects.
The opening
like,
shots. I'm used to like really saturated Technicolor movies, right? And the opening couple shots of this movie are just footage of the New York City skyline and buildings.
Yeah.
Like, and it feels very realistic.
well, it's
looking.
just like, I know that building.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. Yeah.
And it's just cool. Like, yeah, a lot of it's on a stage, but the parts that aren't feel like a really neat kind of just window into
and there's
another era.
Right. There's like the things that are very obviously different, of like subway turnstiles look different. They use tokens instead of a phone, like, but also just the way that it is, like the subway platforms are the same subway platforms. Like they look the same. Subways are still just like a rickety train rocketing through a room, like, that way too many people get shoved into.
But anyway, inciting incident is they're on the subway and they see a poster for like a kind of gimmicky like a gimmicky like a Miss America type thing, but they have like a Miss Turnstiles, which is
it's like every month there's a new Miss Turnstiles who's the like subway
subway maven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the New York City subway pageant, and they see this and they immediately think this is the most famous woman in New York City.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's Miss Turnstiles.
They're very
She
naive.
loves high society.
Yeah.
She's the biggest celebrity in the city.
And so Gene Kelly falls in love with the poster at first sight, and he's like, I'm gonna use my 24 hours to find this woman.
Right, they were like, we gotta find some gals, and it's like, I got my eyes set on that Miss Turnstiles, and they're like, there's a million people here, you're never gonna find her.
The Miss Turnstiles.
Yeah. And then immediately runs into her, like, looks in the other direction, and she's there.
They meet cute, incredibly
Indeed.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's now they disconnect, they reconnect, and it's just like they're on a quest. He conscripts his buddies into his quest to find Miss Turnstiles again.
Basically, all of Act 2 is them
on
like
the hunt,
crisscrossing New York City, trying to find Miss Turnstiles so that Gene Kelly can go on a date with her.
But in the process, the other two find girlfriends or single day girlfriends,
right?
And kind of get distracted with their own days
because they hail a cab, and the cab driver is
a lady,
is a woman, and they're like, a woman? But the war's over. Why do you have a job? Which is, I was like, oh boy.
And then she's immediately the horniest person that you've ever met, because
Quite possibly.
she sees Frank Sinatra and she's like, I will do whatever corny nonsense you guys are doing as long as he can sit up front with me and I can drive while looking at him and not the road.
And also, I'm not going to take where you're going. I'm going to take him home with me. On the like goofy poster for Miss Turnstiles, it says that she loves museums, and so they're like, we got to go to all the museums. And so they go to the Museum of Anthropological History, which I don't think is a real museum. I think it is a play on the Museum of Natural History. I'm assuming so.
They also go to the Museum of Surrealist Art, and I was trying to I don't think that's a real place either.
I'm not. It could be. It could have been in 1949. It isn't anymore. I was trying to unpack of like, is that like a joke? Are they trying to like make some joke about like surrealist art or not? Or is that like...
They did make a joke at some point. They went to actual MoMA, I guess. I don't know.
Right,
it wasn't shot in MoMA, but it was like they went
There's a sign that says MoMA.
Yeah, and they make a modern art joke where they walk by a painting, an abstract painting, and then flip it upside down. Like, oh, it's the same. Like,
yeah. Well, then everyone else is like, oh,
yeah. Which they did, actually, I just learned this recently. They did with Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings. When her paintings first kind of became... This is a complete tangent. But like, when Georgia O'Keeffe...
What if a vulva was upside down?
Well, no, here's the thing. Georgia O'Keeffe...
It's a face if you turn it upside down.
Georgia O'Keeffe originally painted her paintings sideways. So they were not like Ionic imagery necessarily, like they were kind of thought to be. And then like male art patrons and everything were like, we're gonna turn this sideways and say that she's this revolutionary artist who's painting the female form in abstract. And then she was just like, all right, I guess I'll do that.
It's like, yeah, sure, I can deal with that.
Like she never really was like fully on board with that reading of her work. And it was kind of like her making a concession to this sort of like patriarchal like view of her.
Damn,
and
dude.
she also, but like part of this treatment was that before she was known as a painter, she was known as a nude model for her, like in the art world, as a nude model for the person who later became her husband. And so like everyone was just like, oh, well, we don't respect her anyway. She's just like a sex object anyway.
Shit. Yeah.
George O'Keeffe.
Yeah.
But anyway, this movie is about sailors.
This episode in art history.
And so one of them meets a taxi driver, and the other one meets an
anthropologist.
An anthropologist who is
who has a caveman fetish.
Another very horny person.
Yeah, another like absurdly horny character. And they go they're at the museum. There's a dinosaur skeleton. They have a whole musical number which gets into some I would say racially insensitive territory.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, we're talking about cavemen, and they start just like pulling, objects off the wall and doing various cultural stereotypes.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like, if we're making fun of cavemen, sure, who cares? There's no cavemen around. But if you're making fun of cavemen while wearing African masks and going ooga booga, that's not good.
And like Native American headdresses. And,
yeah.
Not a great look for this movie.
It's something that you could just get past pretty quickly. I think.
I mean, your mileage may vary, but
legitimate if you have a real problem with it.
But then they knock down a dinosaur skeleton in an amusing manner,
a la Bringing Up Baby.
Yeah, but it's like in an even more like they knock the tiniest little piece off of it, and then the entire thing like explodes.
And so then there's a kind of like that, like from both of those ladies, there's like a sort of like recurring element of them, like one's hanging on to her cab for too long, and the other is like her boss is like trying to find her because she went along with these men who destroyed a dinosaur skeleton. Both, and it just kind of introduces back into the movie a little bit of stakes.
Right. It's like there's like this increasing sense that like the police are after them for the crimes that they're committing.
But they're just trying to find love and have a good time.
At one point, I think it's Frank Sinatra's like, "Hey, look, cops!" Like, book it, boys. And so yeah, then they split up. The two that already have dates sort of go off to canoodle, and then Gene Kelly sort of wanders into, what was it, the
Juilliard.
It's not Juilliard, but it's like it's described in similarly sort of like it's like the generic version of Carnegie Hall. Uh-huh. It's just like the concert hall or something. And there he finds Miss Turnstiles herself. What's her actual name? Ivy Smith. He's like, "Oh, you're like the most famous gal in New York." And she's like, "Yes, I am." Not wanting to let on that she's actually just like the face of this like goofy Subway ad campaign thing. Hey, is it an ad? Is it a pageant? I'm very I want to know more about Miss Turnstiles.
We need to start Miss Turnstiles.
Yeah.
We've got Subway takes now. Like we can.
That's if I'm ever conscripted into Subway takes. My take is going to be, we need to bring back Miss Turnstiles.
100% agree.
The twist is that Ivy Smith is sort of like trying to work her way up through showbiz by like taking ballet classes and like dancing in Coney Island, and is like not a celebrity by any stretch.
Not just dancing. She's a cooch dancer.
Which is less rude than it sounds.
I think only became rude because of its association.
I mean, it's still lewd, I guess.
Yes.
It's still sort of, yeah.
It's something to be yeah. There's shame.
Right.
For...
She's not going out of her way to tell people that she's a cooch dancer. But it's like, hey, this nice sailor like thinks I'm a celebrity. Like, I guess I'll go along with it. And then he's like, "Oh, my hometown in Indiana." And then it's like, is made very clear without actually saying it that they're both in the same town.
Wow.
And like had the same teacher in school.
Hijinks.
Yeah.
Meet cute
but
hijinks.
then she's like, "Oh, I have a high society party I need to get to," which is actually just her job.
Yeah, she's like not like maliciously lying so much as like sort of going along with what he believes, partly because she sort of wants to get rid of him.
Right. And also I think is a little bit ashamed. Like is a little bit like embarrassed and sort of like, this guy thinks I'm like big time famous glamorous celebrity, and it's like,
it's like, I couldn't be with, I mean, yeah. I shouldn't expect to be with the Miss Turnstiles.
The amount of jokes they get out of Miss Turnstiles is incredible. Because then they go to the top of the Empire State Building, they all meet up, they get chased by the cops. There's the great gag where there's the one guy who's hanging off the side of Empire State Building.
Oh my god.
While they're like leaning off the side, holding him casually to hide him. And then they start hitting the clubs, which are also all kind of like based on some kind of like
ethnic stereotype.
Yeah. Each one is like a different stereotype that it's based on.
Thankfully, they don't dig into those stereotypes too much, because they did the second club they go to is like a Dixieland club, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. None of them are a great look, but the first one they go to is sort of, I guess, vaguely like Cuban themed.
I will say, not racially insensitive ones, but we should have more highly themed nightclubs.
Yes,
I am on board for that.
Themes, I'm 100% on board with. When they get to
that's
the club,
what I say in my high school English class.
Like the two other girls break off, and they're like, slipping money to the maitre d', being like, "Hey, like, get us a table, and also when you do, tell the group that you're doing this for the famous Miss Turnstiles."
Honestly, legendary wingman behavior.
Yes,
like they were great.
Yeah,
they were doing a great job.
And I think that is also a thing that like maitre d's will do. Like that might be sort of like a cultural misnomer. Like that's a thing I've just seen in movies. But it's common enough where I'm like, this must come from somewhere. Like, enough people have had the experience of like slipping the maitre d' some money and being like, "Hey, like, say something nice about me."
Man.
Say that there's a rule about sharing fully
loaded nachos. Yeah.
And so then he's like, free champagne for the table for Miss Turnstiles. and of course then Gene Kelly's like, oh boy, like, I'm I'm the luckiest guy in the whole city. Like I get to have a date with the Miss Turnstiles. Me. But then she has to leave to go to her job, and he's heartbroken.
And then they go on another chase. They try and find her again.
They recruit the cab driver's roommate who has a cold and is generally kind of presented as off-putting. But like the way that like that character initially feels a little mean.
Yeah. I was thinking I was really kind of concerned because everybody sees her, and the instant they see her, they're just like, "Oh, you're obviously the grossest person, grossest, most unattractive person that I've ever met." And it's like, I don't know, she seems all right, maybe a little tone deaf or whatever.
But it's like that is kind of like almost like the character arc of the movie is like, or like the section that she is featured in is like, it starts that way, and by the end of it, it is like the other characters are like, you know what, you're okay.
Yeah,
you're not as gross as we thought.
That's not that bad. I mean, they're kind of just like we're sorry that
the last scene between her and Gene Kelly I thought was very sweet and very nice. Yeah, in a way that kind of took me off guard a little bit.
Yeah, and I think they treat that character as such like a simple joke, and I think, and I was starting to kind of feel like, oh, this is a little too mean spirited the way that they're treating her, and then they flip it around in a way that's like, okay. I guess you can have this,
Yeah. And so they find out that Ivy is working down at Coney Island, so they go down to the Cooch show in Coney Island, and then the cops show up, and they have to dress up as like belly dancers in drag to try to escape, which leads to some real kind of Scooby-Doo-esque hijinks of like running through the stage as like police chase after them. That whole section felt very like vaudevillian to me.
Yeah.
In a good way. And they like hide in the back of a van, which ends up being the like shore police for the Navy. And they're like, we got to take these guys back to the boat. Their shore leaves up. But then.
And also put them in the brig.
Right.
Because they've been up to no good.
And then the cops are about to arrest the three gals, but they're like, we were just trying to have fun, officers.
Don't you believe in love?
Yeah, and they're like, fine. Let's all like pass a hat around and gather money to like pay their bail. And so then the three gals drive off to the Brooklyn Navy Yard to say a final goodbye to the three fellas. And we get a nice little ending. And then also, I like how, there's like the beginning of the movie where they come off the boat and they're like, New York! And then a like almost identical group of sailors get off as they're going on the boat, gets off the boat. And going, oh boy, New York, what a town!
And the cycle begins again.
The circle of life. The circle of Fleet Week. Fun, silly musical time. I enjoyed watching it.